Hello, everyone. I am your melanated queen. Welcome to another episode of Brown Girls Are Beautiful. Heute ist Dienstag. Heute ist Dienstag. Today is Tuesday. Das Wetter ist sehr nett. The weather is very nice. Es ist 73 degrees outside. It's 73 degrees outside. As you can hear, the birds are singing and the water is pouring and music is blasting. So, in the wake of social distancing for the COVID virus, we are still out here thriving and surviving, and we have fresh air, we have warm weather, okay? And have my hair up. I finally straightened it out, but you'll get to see that later. And today we will be discussing some topics concerning primarily the melanated community. Today I am wearing my gray melanated tank. I'm gonna stand up. We're in the park today in wake of the COVID social distancing. So you may see people walking around me, behind me, in front of me, but we're going to keep going because people are nosy. They probably are wondering, what is this individual doing out here with a camera? Doesn't matter, okay? I came to talk to you all. All right, I just want to let you know, heute ist Dienstag. Das Wetter ist sehr nett. Es ist 73 degrees outside. So today is Tuesday. The weather is very nice. It is 73 degrees outside, okay? So if you ever want to say the weather is very nice, you would say Das Wetter ist sehr nett. The weather is very nice. Or you could say Das Wetter ist so schön. Das Wetter ist sehr schön, which means the weather is very pretty. And that is my little lesson for German today, auf Deutsch. So I wanted to touch on, of course, we have been discussing the C virus for quite a few times since I've been on here. But I would also like to tap into the Teddy Riley and Babyface battle. My apologies, they're not beefing. But so many times when you hear of people in the industry, it's usually beef. But no, it was a friendly battle and we thoroughly enjoyed it. I actually stayed up late last night watching it. Usually I don't tune into those type of things, but they make some good music, you all. So we're going to talk about it. And I think it's always a learning lesson for our community. So I wanted to actually start this off by talking about Teddy Riley and introducing them, just some interesting facts about him. And I want to kind of decipher some things as far as how we could learn from this situation, because a lot of y'all have been going in on Teddy Riley. I mean, like, for him to be, he's still a living legend. So for him to put in all the work that he's done, over 3 decades of work, I probably was, I was not even in school when he started his career. The wind is blowing. I'm just making sure everything's intact, you all. Okay, so anyway, let's get going. Let's talk about Teddy Riley and how his career started off. So everyone, he was born October, because I did a little research, not a whole lot of digging, but I did a little research on him. October 8th, 1967. He's a Libra. I think that's Libra, or is that yeah, that's a Libra. Okay. So let's see. He's a musical genius in his own right, you all, and we've all witnessed that. I thoroughly enjoy a lot of his music. Let's break down his credentials, okay? So as we know, if you hadn't tuned into the battle last night, there were about 500 plus visitors on Instagram. So basically, y'all, they shut Instagram down. I mean, like, they broke the internet with 500,000 views on IG. Like, IG should probably be issuing out a check, to those two individuals, Babyface, or Kenneth Edmonds, I like to say, and Teddy Riley. So Teddy Riley has worked with the likes of Keith Sweat. Oh my goodness, Keith Sweat. I Want Her. Like, back when I was 5 or 6, I used to love that song. I mean, and it's still my favorite, one of his favorite song of his until today. I used to love that song. I used to sing to that song. So you all know how music touches us as melanated individuals. Rump Shaker. I mean, I was probably in what, fourth grade back then. I was living in Germany, but hey, we heard about Rump Shaker, okay? And all of us liked it. I remember the blonde haired girl that I used to walk to lunch with, and a few other my friends back then in elementary school. We used to walk to the lunchroom, man. We were into it, so we would, we were singing it. All right, we can't forget about Michael Jackson, you all. Now, that is unfair. We know that when Michael Jackson touches a mic, he lights it up. And really, there's no comparison. I mean, everybody just dropped the mic, get off the stage. When Michael gets up there, everybody just clear, okay? Because it's no competition, okay? Hands down. He is, in my opinion, the best entertainer that ever walked the face of earth. And nobody's touching Michael. So we all know that Michael has influenced Genuine, people like Chris Brown, people like Usher. I mean, and so many others. Even my 8-year-old nephew is a fan of Michael, and he was not even born when Michael was walking amongst us. So this man has transcended a multitude of generations. I want to say at least 3, 4, maybe even 5 generations, you all. So Michael is magical. There's no touching him. He's so powerful. And if you've worked with him, shout out to you. All right, let's go down the list. I mean, because already right there, that's powerful enough. I mean, that shuts it down. But then you want to talk about SWV, Let's Chill, Heavy D, Blackstreet, of course, Bobby Brown. Now, come on. Everybody knows that Bobby Brown is a legend. I remember back in Germany again, back in the 80s, Bobby Brown was it, okay? And Cool Mo D, Janet. I mean, hey, Michael's sister, and shout out to her. I had the privilege of seeing Janet, and even at the age of 50, she still looks really, really, really good. I just saw her, I want to say about 2 years ago almost. Shout out to Janet. Johnny Kemp just got paid. Oh, Friday night. Come on now. You can't tell me that these are not classics in their own right. So I'm going to say Teddy Riley, man. Shout out to you. All right, let's go down the list to the accolades. He has a star on the Hollywood Wall of Fame or Walk of Fame. He actually started his career at the age of 17, and he worked with Dougie Fresh on a song called The Get Fresh Crew, because we're the Get Fresh Crew. Sorry if you hear this little kid in the background yelling. I had no idea back then that he worked with them, and I remember oh goodness, I was probably barely in elementary school. I probably was, but I did not know that Teddy Riley at the tender age of 17 actually worked with them. So, that is just amazing to me. And I am excited about this because I love music so much. I was also a music major, you all. So I also have an associate's in music. And, I started playing the piano very later on in my lifetime, and I used to play the flute, if you don't know that. But music has always been a big part of most of our lives, and I think that, we're born with it in our DNA. We're born with rhythm in our bones. I remember, my mama telling me when I was born as a baby, I was moving my foot to the beat of the music. Like I had rhythm back then. We just feel it in our spirits, you all. So music is so powerful, and it's such a way to bring together a lot of people, a multitude of people across one platform. Let's see, moving right along. His song still resonates with us today. Of course they do. He also has a Soul Train Music Legend Award in 2016. He was awarded that. Also, he was awarded the NAACP Image Award, an outstanding album for 1998 Soul Food. So basically his career started as early as 1984, and I mean, that is nothing to make light of. So people can come on the internet and they can make memes, they can make skits, they can critique him. However, I bet every last one of these people that have critiqued him, first of all, you heard about him because you're speaking about him. Second of all, you tuned in, so you were watching him. And thirdly, you know his music. And I want to say fourthly, most of the people that had something to say, a lot of people don't have, his credentials, his money, or the type of career that he's had as far as the longevity. So I still want to say what an amazing contribution to the world, that he's touched our lives in so many different ways. Had he not started out and pushed through at the age of 17, we would not have known these songs. Some people would not have had these careers that they have. All right, so let's go on to yeah, just wanted to give a shout out to him. He's able to sustain the career, and on his talent alone, you all, and that is very powerful to do. When you're able to do something in this world that you have a talent for and that you actually love. Excuse me, pollen is falling, you all. And if you've built a career on that, and you can sustain your way of life for yourself and your family, because I looked it up and I think he has like 8 kids. So that says a lot. A lot of people out here working regular jobs and can't even sustain themselves or their families. And then to be able to move freely and travel the world, that's a beautiful thing. And so I think that's inspiring. That's something we could learn from him. And I want to say also the fact that he came the second day. I know the first day did not go well for them, and despite all the criticism and the critique, he still came. He gave another performance, and he did his due diligence to give everybody what they were seeking as far as holding on to the competition, the friendly competition that they had. And so that takes a lot of courage and a lot of brevity to face all of the criticism that he's facing and still facing this week. But I know it's going to die down. It's all in lighthearted fun. So if Teddy Riley sees this, or if you're listening, I just want to send that message to you. And I did make some notes here on my phone because I just want to keep my thoughts organized, you all. I don't want to ramble on and go off on too many different tangents, but I do want to say that he exemplifies skill, determination, dedication, and undoubtedly much innovative talent. And that is something that transcends across different generations with him. Your family, like as far as your mother might like his music, the daughter might like the music, and then maybe the grandparents and, even the grandchildren. So, like I said, my 8-year-old nephew still listens to Bobby Brown, My Prerogative, and Every Little Step. He wasn't even around back when those songs came out. That was in the 80s. I mean, we were basically almost his age back then ourselves. So shout out to Teddy Riley. I also want to share this little piece of information with you. I had the privilege and the opportunity of meeting Teddy Riley. He may not even remember this. I remember I was probably 15 back then, back in like 98, something like that. And I used to work at King's Dominion. For those who are not familiar, that is an amusement park. And according to what I heard, I think he used to live in Virginia Beach, or he still may live there. But Teddy Riley actually came to the facility where I was working. It was a restaurant. I can't think of the name of the restaurant that it was, but it was indoors, and we served pasta, lasagna, things of that nature. Now, normally I was, in the back washing dishes. I don't know why they didn't want me in the forefront. I think my manager, you all, was jealous of me because she used to make me wash trash cans and stuff. So I ended up getting moved from over there and going to the pretzel stand, but that's neither here nor there. I ended up seeing Teddy Riley, and the one thing about him is when he came to the line in the restaurant, I noticed that a crowd had started formulating, and I think I was in the front serving food that day, and so I saw the managers and everybody just lined up, teams of people just flocking. So I'm like, okay, something's going on here. So I kept hearing that's Teddy Riley, that's Teddy Riley. Now, me being the oblivious type of person that I am, I'm always the person that questions everything. So I saw him, and in my mind, I'm thinking, this man looks exactly like Teddy Riley. So I saw him. Yes, it looked like him, but I still didn't know if it was him or not. There's a lizard, you all. There is a lizard. Oh my God. So anyway, I looked at Teddy Riley, and I just asked him because he came straight through the line, and I said, excuse me, what's your name? He was like, Teddy. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I thought they were lying. I should have known better, you all, because why would the crowd form like that? And people were asking him questions, but I'm like, you have to let these people live their lives. They are still, I'm sorry, there's like a bee looking thing coming around me. You have to let these people live their lives. He was out with his family. He had his wife, this brown skinned petite lady, and I heard him tell one of the workers, I'm just out with the family. So when you see people out, and oh my goodness, the bees be after me, y'all. I told you that last time. But when you see the people out with their family, allow them to live their lives, allow them to have their fun. So that is just my little story and my encounter with Teddy Riley. So Teddy Riley, if you're out there, shout out to you. I told one of my coworkers about it. She was like, girl, you should have sung a tune. I'm like, I'm not going to embarrass myself like that. But, Teddy Riley, I'm with you in the music realm. Spiritually we are connected in the music realm, because I love it too, and I'm so glad that you're able to fulfill your dream of doing that. Okay, sorry you all, just had to check something. All right, let's move on to Kenneth, quote unquote Babyface Edmonds. I prefer to call him Kenny Edmonds. He was born August 10th 1958 in Indianapolis, Indiana. So as we know, who is your favorite musician that is from that same place? Michael Jackson, okay? So August 10th, that's a Leo. So those are go-getters, you all. If you're not familiar with Leos, they are very much so go-getters. That is the sign of the lion. They're nothing to play with. So I don't know how Kenneth Edmonds maintains that demure, composed manner about himself, but he seems to handle himself well under pressure, and I think that gets him and has taken him very far in his career. So you don't run a rumble with the lion. That's all I'm going to say, because I know deep down inside there's a lion in him. All right, so let's get into what he did. He's a songwriter, of course. He's a singer. He's a producer, a musician, a guitarist, a pianist, a businessman. Just great business acumen altogether. And so is Teddy Riley. Teddy Riley plays the piano, the keyboards. He also produces. He sings. All of those different things. All of those different attributes and talents are so widely recognized by the community, and we're thankful to have those amongst our people. There's a difference between the two as far as their styles are concerned. So Kenneth Edmonds is more suave. He's more of that smooth type of demure like personality, and he basically can finesse you. Okay, now Teddy Riley likes to take you to the club. He likes to party. He likes to have fun. There's nothing wrong with that. You get the best of both worlds with these two. So I don't really know how you could compare their music, but they have great talent between the two of them. Kenneth Babyface Edmonds has won 11 Grammy Awards. He was featured in 50 of the greatest producers ever list, and that is nothing to frown upon, you all. He's worked with the likes of Tevin Campbell, Tony B. Shout out to Tony B. And I want to say this: people who has a name that starts with the letter T are very talented, and they're very tenacious, and they are tough. Okay, I should know, because me, myself, and my family, our names start with the letter T as well. He's worked with Whitney, Mariah, come on, the best voices out there. Whitney had one of the most soulful, powerful voices ever. Mariah Carey, I don't even want to talk about how I would tear it up in the car when she came out with the Emancipation of Mimi. Shout out to Jermaine Dupri. Boys to Men, TLC, Red Light Special. Come on now. What was I like? That takes me back. Well, we were in I think 6th grade, but I still love that song even till today. We all pretended like we were one of them, whether it was Chili, Left Eye, T-Balls, whatever. So yeah, he's smooth, he's suave. His style exemplifies professionalism with very much high class. Shout out to him for that. I noticed how he had patience. He's graceful. He's, like I said, a smooth talker. And both of them look great for their age. I enjoy them both. They both have unique styles. We saw how he played the guitar live and sung for us impromptu. That is much talent right there. His voice still sounds very nice, and that just speaks to just the talent that he has, Stevie J, I had the chance to see Stevie J one time do the same thing. He was on the stage with Jocelyn, and Jocelyn, I guess the crowd was not well receiving her. So Stevie J got on stage. I literally saw him. I don't know what type of apparatus he was using, but it was some type of beatbox. He made a beat, and then he doubled over the beat. He made a beat on top of that beat. It sounded good. Then the next thing I know, I think he pulled out a guitar out of nowhere. He started singing on stage, and it sounded good, and that was impromptu. So I mean, just multifaceted, with the talent. It's just so beautiful, and I really, I just look up to people that can do that. Yeah, so let's see. I just wanted to point this out. If we could come together with over 500,000 people on Instagram Live, imagine what we could do out here in the real world. And this was just off of music alone. So we did see people coming in like Brandy, Tamar, Tony Braxton, Mariah, Snoop, Raekwon, Diddy, Nia Riley, Ashanti, Keisha Cole, Nino Brown. All of these talents, all of these artists came on, and so many more were there. But I just want to say, like, imagine what we could really do in real life if we all really came together for one common goal, one common purpose, to build this community up with one cause. That would be so powerful and epic right there, you all. And that's the point that I wanted to make behind all of this, because music is powerful and influential. There's a science in music, okay, and this has been studied. They know this about us. It impacts your spirit. It's mood altering. Just think about the fact when you move with the music, it's autonomous. You move automatically without even thinking about it, okay? Look at how the melanated guys, treat the women and the females now compared to back then. And some of this is impacted by the music. Make no mistake about it. So we just want to make sure we're sending the right message out there. We've gotten away from a lot of the messages that were put out there in music, and now where most women are being demeaned when it comes to music. They're being treated as objects. I don't see this being pushed. This agenda is not pushed in other communities. You don't see the Caucasians calling their women, the B word, calling them female dogs. You don't see them promoting the killings of one another, okay? But that's promoted in the melanated community in their music, and we already know the agenda behind that: killing one another, downing one another. Competition is always there when it comes to the music. So, and when it comes to music, people are also easily distracted. So they already figured out the science behind music. They know if you put melanated people in a room full of music, a barbecue, or anywhere, if they're having a good time and they have music and they have good food, come on now, stop playing. You already know it's going down. And I think we need to kind of overlook some of that sometimes. We can have our fun, but we have to still remain diligent in our agenda to push through and to stop being oppressed, okay? Because we're still heavily oppressed over here. And I was talking to one of my very dear friends. Shout out to him. He's in Canada. But this melanated king was telling me that out in Ghana, do you know the resources that they have? Do you know how they are allowing melanated people to go out there and purchase land for little of nothing? You can get maybe 2 to 3, a few acres for under $10,000. So that's nothing to take lightly, you all. That's why I said I'm urging everyone to get your passports when all of this is over and start traveling the world, because it's going to get to a point where things are going to really be shifting and changing, and we're going through that right now. I want to also talk about embracing our differences. So basically, embracing the differences between Babyface or Kenneth Edmonds and Teddy Riley. We know that they have two different types of musics, but we can still enjoy them. So not everything has to be the same. And people can be different, and we can enjoy people for their differences. So that doesn't mean that everybody has to have the same type of music, dress the same way, talk the same way, act the same way, hang around the same people, be into the same things. When you start traveling and you get out, you will see that a lot of people are so closed-minded, especially in certain areas. And to me, that is a turnoff. I like for people to be open-minded and experience different things. So that is just something, that I took out of that experience last night on IG Live with them too. You know, people put a lot of power, energy, time, and attention into doing skits on YouTube and Instagram. I saw a 1 hour skit on Instagram, and now don't get me wrong, it was funny. It was entertaining, but if we can put that type of energy, time, and effort into skits making fun of someone, imagine what we can do if we actually invest that time into ourselves and building ourselves up. So that's the point that I want to get out. But no matter what, you cannot take away either one of their talents or their credentials. Imagine, like I said, how we could come together for other things in the name of music and other things as well. People love to focus on the negative. I'm not really here for that. I'm focusing on the positive and what we can learn from this whole thing. And I want to say it shows a lot. You know, take your talent seriously. So I'm pretty sure that have been many other things that have gone wrong in Teddy Riley's life. You know, when he's been out on the road, or when he's been performing or coming up with songs and studios and working with people, all types of things happen in life. But he remained diligent, and he remained forward thinking. And this lizard is still around me, you all. And I don't like reptilians. I don't like reptoids. I don't like reptiles. But anyway, I know that sometimes they say when you see lizards is a sign of things, and so I've looked those things up, but I don't want them around me. So my point is, someone is always out there waiting on your talent, waiting on your abilities. Don't be scared or afraid to share them with the world. I'm so glad that these two individuals shared their talents with the world, because we wouldn't have the music that we have today. It would not have given us the experiences that we had through the music. We can reminisce through time when we hear about the music. So, you know, it takes us back. So shout out to them for that. The same way we listen to Babyface and Teddy Riley. You know, just imagine if they had never pursued their dreams. Okay, and shout out to Michael Jackson once again. We would have never had that Dangerous album. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me continue to remain focused here. I also wanted to point out, all of this goes without saying, and we must say it. We cannot not include him in this conversation. I thought about him last night, you all, and I'm going to say it. R. Kelly. Now, I know that he's a very controversial topic right now between this year and last year, and you know, the few years leading up to this year. We can't leave him out, because he's worked with Tony Braxton. He's worked with many different talents that I was not even privy to, you all. Celine Dion, just Nick Cannon, so many individuals in the community, in the music realm. Like, we can't leave him out, because I'm just going to say that it's unfortunate that right now he's locked up, facing what he's facing, especially dealing with the COVID situation. I'm just going to say this. R. Kelly will shut it down, okay, for real, all by himself, just off of his archives alone. I mean, I saw him performing in a club, impromptu. And you all know, if you go out on YouTube, you can look it up. God gave me a voice, and I'm going to sing anything. God gave me a voice, and I'm going to sing anything. Like, he touched me. You know, he sounded like he was taking us to church. But that just lets you know that music is in our spirits. Rhythm is in our bones. It's in our DNA, you all. We were made with this. You know, so shout out to him for giving us the music that he did. And if you cancel R. Kelly, you're going to have to cancel a lot of people and a lot of their music. I'm just going to say it. You know, people may disagree with that because of the charges that he's been facing. But if you want to bring him down, then you're going to have to bring them all down. Because there's a lot of people, okay, that have been complicit in that situation. And just like the COVID, there are a lot of people complicit, along with Bill Gates, along with Dr. Fauci, and many others with these vaccines. Okay, so let's continue. I just want to say, the hype man that Teddy Riley had in his background, I don't know his name. I saw somebody say Breon. I'm not sure if that's him or not. You know, whoever you're connected with sometimes will expose certain things in your life, but there's nothing negative to say about Teddy Riley. I just want to say that you want to make sure that the people you have are representing you in the best light. So that's what I wanted to say about that. I only have about a minute left in the video, so I'm going to try to make this short, and I'm going to wrap it up. It's so easy to criticize our own for something so frivolous, okay, such as the sound issue, because that's not a life or death altering situation. But we will not stand up or band together against the oppressor. Okay, I wanted to say that. Both have done a great service to us, both Babyface and Teddy Riley. Um, and all of the people that have enjoyed the music that are talking, I bet they've all enjoyed his music and they recognize his songs. That's all I wanted to say, you all. I'm out here enjoying the weather. I just want to say, shout out to all my melanated queens, all the true melanated kings. Continue to treat these melanated queens like the queens they are, and continue. So I wanted to say, continue to keep your princes and princesses out here safe. Excuse me for looking around, but I have to make sure that I'm aware of my surroundings at all times. Melanin is being sold out here on the markets, and I'm just joking. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say, you all. It's easy to criticize, but just be very cognizant that he went through a lot to get to where he is in his career right now. We do expect for him to be professional. Babyface, Kenneth Edmonds was extremely professional. He maintained his composure, and I'm pretty sure he has gone a long, far distance in his career with being able to do that. So I want to ask everyone to take this as a learning experience. If there is something that you could learn from what they've done, take that and use it in your own life. And I've actually learned something from both of them by just watching them and observing them last night. And that is to basically, someone else had sent me a text, and this was very touching. And basically, the text said that you need to hone your talent and get your talent out there to the world, and not hold it in much longer, because you don't know who you will touch. You don't know who needs to hear your story. You don't know who's looking at you, and you don't know who's looking up to you. And sometimes people might not tell you, but I have witnessed in my life where I've done so many different things and people have followed suit. People have actually followed in my footsteps, and I don't take that as anything negative. I just take it as that I'm influencing people, whether it be 5 or 10 people. But I've noticed that people in my life have done that. So you might be just the same way. So it's nothing wrong with following your talents and maintaining your dreams. That's really what I wanted to say. Thank you so much for listening. Shout out to all the melanated queens out there and everyone that's listening to the sound of my voice. Everybody stay blessed, stay happy, stay healthy, and continue to follow your dreams.